I apologize for being a bit disheveled today, but I'm clearly comfortable, and that's what matters. So awesome, we have yet another violent Stephen King adaptation hitting the silver screen. But is it more like It Chapter 1 kinda good, or is it more about Pet Sematary kinda good? Grab a cup of coffee and let's find out. The Long Walk follows a group of boys who sign up for the titular competition, where they must walk above a certain speed or else get shot in the head. Last man standing wins $10 million, but to get there, the contestants encounter fatigue, limited bathroom breaks, and hopefully some new friendships to make this depressing death march as much of a stroll as possible. So imagine the Hunger Games, basically, where both the society running the competition and the filmmakers had a much smaller budget. Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson are the main leads here, and they are both fantastic. Put them in more stuff. You ever meet someone, hang out with them for only a really short period of time, but instantly feel this strong connection with them? These two characters and their actors captured that perfectly here, who formed the most beautiful lasting relationship out of this whole thing. There's nothing really to do on the Long Walk but either survive or talk to each other, and that's what they both do very well. Their friendship, top notch. Their chemistry, I believed in all of it. Mark Hamill is also great. He's the other star in this movie. He plays the major, who's kind of the adult chaperone of this whole competition. Don't go see this movie for Mark Hamill, okay? He was on set for maybe like 3 hours total. He's good, and the 15 minutes total he was on screen, he was very good. He's got this weird sunglasses thing going on where you never really see his eyes, so his soul or whatever soul may be within him is completely obstructed. It was a really cool character design. I wish I saw more of him, but the little I did see, I was very pleased with. But the best parts of The Long Walk are the things that come most naturally to it. The things you think about when you think of a movie about a long walk competition like this. The bond that forms between these kids who know they are likely about to die. The tension when a soldier yells "warning" as a kid slows down to tie their shoe. Or, most critically, the fact that as this movie progresses, the likelihood of that one character slowing down and getting shot as a result of it becomes higher and higher. This really is the epitome of a film that gets better as it goes on. It has a slow enough start where we just get an exposition dump of 15 minutes to learn everybody's names, but that's the slowest it gets. As the minutes pass, people gotta use the restroom. They gotta slow down to do that. Characters get tired both mentally and physically. Sure, some last for miles over the course of days, but with no sleep. That also adds tension. I often judge a movie not just based on how good its core idea is, but how well that idea is used and utilized. So like, big whoop, Stephen King, you got this cool idea. You got this unique premise. Now, what are you gonna do with it? What stories can be told around that? The Long Walk absolutely milks its core idea to the bone, every last drop. The movie goes a bit further than just a competition, though. It's not just a competition. You start to wonder in the audience, wait a second, why would anyone in their right mind sign up for something like this? Why does the Long Walk itself even exist? Where did this start? The movie not only has good answers for those questions, which I won't spoil, but those questions open a doorway into the world, the universe, you could say, that this movie is set in. What does society look like outside of this long walk? You get glimpses of that in very visual ways. The highways the characters walk on, the bystanders they pass as they walk, the cities and what they look like, and the smog and the despair that seems to hang over everything. There is a story there that isn't told explicitly. It's not told verbally, it's told visually. I loved that. It's also a really good way to not break from the action, not break from the long walk. So, you know, like another character we don't know clicking through their TV, watching it online or something. There's another draft of this movie sitting around in some Hollywood executive's cupboard right now, where we are constantly breaking off from the long walk. Seeing other scenes and storylines, and if that movie was playing in front of me, I'd be like, dude, get back to the long walk, get back to the competition. Thankfully, they made the right move here, and whenever they wanted to break and show you something, they told that story visually instead. Unfortunately though, that's about all the show don't tell that the Long Walk movie gives you. Since we don't cut away from the characters, 90% of this film it's just people talking. When you remove the noise of things like action, special effects, highly recognizable actors, your basics, your building blocks of your film become louder and louder, and in this case, it's dialogue. And that dialogue it's fine. it's fine. It suffices, and it'd be serviceable in any other movie, but in a film that's 90% dialogue and there's no conversation that makes me really lean in or question what a character is saying or their motives, something that makes me want to know a character more, that's kind of harmful. That's gonna harm your dialogue-based film more than your average film. For example, you'd think there'd be one character in a story like this that doesn't become friends with the rest of the group, and that antagonism develops throughout the story, while two characters over here may find the kinship, may find common ground. This other guy may be constantly at odds with them based on their background or opinions, whatever, and that builds tension until it eventually explodes. Nothing like that is done here. Instead, you have this guy. Right out the gate, he's calling people names, picking fights, and you immediately say, okay, you're that guy, you're that character. I've seen this before. It's not done organically through the dialogue, which would have been a slam dunk in a film like this. That's not the only example. There are other characters in The Long Walk who last a long time through this competition, but aren't given anything to do along the way. They say nothing of substance, but because they're one of the last few people to live, they're given these emotional death scenes. I'm like, I don't even know your name. For every one death that really tugs at your heartstrings, there's two more that feel completely out of place. Where a character we've barely spent any time with just starts dropping a bunch of lore at once as the movie's last-ditch effort to get you to care about them before they're brutally murdered. And I guess that's a good segue into talking about the violence of The Long Walk, because yeah, this is a Stephen King book, alright? It's a violent and disturbing film at times. You ever watch Misery? I'm not anti-violence in films, by the way, mind you, but some of this was just completely out of place. So most of the deaths are characters slowing down and they die by bullet to the head, right? The film says, well, wait a minute, that's not shocking enough. Have that kid over there get, I don't know, run over by a tank for no reason or something. Did it make me wince? Yeah. Was it necessary? No, not at all. Not in a movie like this. But when the writing and the dialogue doesn't make a certain character's death stand out for me, yeah, I guess the only way to do it is through shock value. The deaths that were most simple were the most emotional. The deaths that were most shocking felt the most out of place. So yeah, The Long Walk is a completely mixed bag of violence and dialogue that reminds you, oh yeah, this is from the guy who wrote Misery. And it sticks that landing less often than it should. But The Long Walk as an idea, as a concept for a story like this, is much stronger than its shortcomings. And if you're coming to this movie just to see how much juice is squeezed out of that idea, I think you're going to be very well pleased. As long as you get past the times where the script itself feels like it's moving at 3 miles an hour. I do recommend you see The Long Walk when it comes out on streaming. But what did you think of The Long Walk? Or what Stephen King adaptation do you think needs to come next, or have you really enjoyed recently? Let me know down in the comments below, and for more movie chats like this over a cup of coffee, like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.